Yo, you remember that meeting of the minds
Which one?
with
There's
your
so
man?
many.
The one I forgot the year, man. When you and D Filthy was on post doing security, and I was standing outside with y'all in the hallway because I ain't want to go in there because I ain't want to hear the nonsense no more. And
Uh,
your man from the Jungle Brothers came upstairs with
Baby
makeup,
Bam.
yeah, with makeup on, and I think he might have had like some type of wig on too, and with a
He had a
sequence
wig and a
and a
sequ like
sequence
women's
outfit.
clothing
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. And talking
Yeah.
about and you we was looking at each other and we looked at him and we was like, yo, how may we help you? You in the wrong
Hmm.
place. And he like, no, I'm looking for my father. And we
Hmm.
was like, who's your father? And he was like,
Hmm.
Africa Bambaataa. And we like, what? You know
I
what
was
I'm
getting
saying?
tight
Yeah,
immediately. I was
yeah.
getting
Nah, your
tight
face was
immediately.
red. Yeah, your face turned red. Filthy looking at me, and I'm looking, and I'm like, yo, do we gotta throw this dude down the steps? And then Yoda
Yeah.
came over and was like, what's going on? And he repeated himself, and he looked, and Yoda was like, baby Bam, and like he
Or
smiled, and like I'm like, yo, like what is this? Y'all
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. Nah,
confused, man. I,
he was looking crazy. He was looking crazy. I remember the crazy thing is, right, like when you at the top of the steps at the National Black Theater, right? So you would come to like a Zulu event, and and most times back at that time, the National Black Theater didn't have the elevator work, and you'd have to come up three flights of stairs, one succession, all the way up, right? So when I seen Homeboy coming up, I thought it was a woman first and foremost, because
right,
I'm looking down from afar.
right.
And like you said, his getup is just he had like eyeshadow on,
Yeah, it
and
was
he had
crazy.
makeup. He was done
Yeah,
up like a woman, and like you said, a wig, all of that. So I'm like, who's this sister coming up here? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's a dude with him filming, got a camera,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
got like
yeah.
a professional camcorder, and I said, "Yo, brother, put that camera away. Ain't no filming here, like, cause
Right,
we don't allow no
right, right,
unauthorized filming, cause we selling these events. These
right,
events are
right.
being sold
So
on
it turned into
DVD and
DVDs, right?
right, the
Yeah,
conscious community talking, and they get in the bag and all of that, whatever. They're soliciting donations, so no one could come up here filming. So I'm like, "Yo, brother, put that camera away." He like, "Nah, I'm filming for so and so." Right, and it's not dawning on me like it's not. I don't know who this is. And remember, Yoda came over and was like, "Yo, baby Bam," right? And yo, we was ready to throw him down the stairs,
yeah.
both of them.
That's a
Like we were
fact.
getting
That's a
furious because we
fact.
thought someone was playing some funny games with us, and we ain't playing with nobody. You
Right,
coming up
especially
in the
when you
thing,
on
you're gonna
post.
respect.
Yeah, like
Yeah, we on Shaka Zulu time. We on Shaka Zulu duty. We not playing with nobody. So we telling them put the camera away. He not listening to us. So now you just giving us the green light to put hands on you, right? Then Yoda say who he is. We're all like confused and bizarred out. Like, what is this dude doing? And then, right, who comes along? Bambada come along, right? And he was like, "Brother, you better what he say, brother, you better identify
bro,
yourself."
because people was going to get hurt.
He was
You
like, "These
brothers
brothers
going to
gonna
put
tear your
yeah,
ass up. They gonna tear your ass up." Right? Bam was telling them, like, "Yo, you better identify." And he said, "Oh, they don't know, Bam. They don't." What he said, they don't know. And they did the black spade, some black. They said it was the black spade salute. They like
yeah. Something
something like
wild. Yeah,
this,
some handshake they
some
did.
wild
Yeah, yeah,
handshake,
yeah, yeah,
some secret handshake. And he said, "Brother, you better let them know like who you are, because they're gonna
yeah.
tear your ass up." Yo,
He
and I'm
wasn't
telling you,
playing, and I wasn't
Bam
even
and
on
Yoda
post.
came.
And
Right,
I
but
was ready to
you
give it
already
to him.
know,
Yeah,
right? We
yeah.
would have if Yoda and Bambaataa didn't come and identify who he was.
Yeah, it would have been a wrap. It would
I
have been a
mean,
wrap for him.
we might have put an end to the half of the Jungle Brothers that day. No lie, no disrespect to
Yeah.
Mike G and Baby Bam. I don't know what type of time he was on during that period. I've seen him dressed like that afterwards. I don't know if that's some type of outfit or get up or some of
Yeah,
these
I know.
performing
Remember he
arts,
had
these
moved
artists.
to the UK. think he was living in the
Yeah.
UK or something. I don't know.
And
Maybe
I'm a big fan of Jungle Brothers. I'm a
that's a
big
fact.
fan of
Yeah,
Tribe. I'm a
yeah.
big fan of De La Soul or the
Native
whole
tongues. Yeah,
Native
the whole native
Tongues,
tongues. Yeah,
extended and all of that.
but
Like
that was
we're
just weird, man. That was
legendary,
real
but it
weird.
was super bizarre to see
Yeah,
somebody that you are a big fan of, and then
mm,
that's our first like time seeing them
yeah.
dressed as a woman,
Right, it
like
was crazy. Yo, and then
right,
that same meeting of the minds, that's where the that milkshake talking about he said Allah is a woman. And then the brother,
right,
the Muslim brother and his wife walked out and they
walked
saw
out.
me and they was like, yo, you heard what he said? I said, unfortunately I did. And he was like, yeah, we ain't coming back. I told him to run. So take your wife and run.
Or
I was like, because they talking some
right.
nonsense. I think I left shortly afterwards. I'm not sure. I think I left like a little bit while after that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I kind of remember you saying, "Yo, I'm out of here, L,"
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Nah, hold on, like, yo, don't
yeah.
leave me." You know what I'm
It
saying?
was too
Like, you
much,
had
man.
enough. You could only tolerate so much
Yeah,
crazy statements, and
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, one of the events, what Cassius D said, someone he said, "We're
Oh,
gonna
that was the
burn the
same thing.
Bible.
Yo,
We're gonna burn
yo.
the Bible."
Yeah, and he was yelling at the lady, man. The lady had to leave because he said, I gotta work tomorrow. And he was like, tomorrow's Sunday, you ain't gotta work, you going to church. And he was like, you going to church where Jesus is teaching our sons how to be, and he used the F word and he was yelling at her. And I'm looking, I'm like, yo, man, like, first of all, I believe in Jesus, not how Christians believe in Jesus,
Right,
but
right, right, right.
like that's not
He's
the
a prophet.
message. Yeah, I was like, that's not the message. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, and you
Right.
think people? I'm like, you thinking this street preaching or whatever you think you're doing, yelling at people
Hmm.
and scolding people when they got things going on or they don't want to hear what you talking about. You think they're gonna listen to you? After you
Right.
ridicule them and all of that, man, I was like, yo, man, this is some nonsense. Like,
Yeah,
for real,
it's
for real.
they've always put together a cast of some characters at some of these events, and I don't want to disrespect anybody that came to drop knowledge, but it was
Right.
just like some of these things were like
They're
some of
extreme.
these,
It
right, they
was
were
extreme.
extreme, and they would say these things that were triggering uh like certain reactions where you're actually pushing people out of the theater,
Right.
and you're like they don't want to hear what you're having to say because you're being offensive to people. um and then some people loved it. It was like, some people loved it. You know what I
Yo,
mean? They would go
and
every year for it,
what's
you
crazy
know?
is a lot of that stuff, there's no proof for none of it.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Like there was
right,
no
right, right.
proof for none of that. A lot of it. I'm not gonna say none of it, but a
Hmm.
lot of it, there was no evidence
Right.
of a lot of it. Like if you actually do the research and fact check, because they like a lot of the stuff in the conscious community, a lot of people don't fact check. You know what I'm saying? Dudes be writing
Hmm.
like, yo, you hear these dudes? I've read 100 books. Like
Right.
100 books, like based off of what though? What research have you done? What thorough research have you done to say like this is the truth? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it's a lot of digging and a lot of research and years and years and years of study. You just don't, it just doesn't hit you in the head like, oh,
Right.
I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't
Right.
have an epiphany one
Right.
day and all of a sudden you're like some guru or you're like a sheikh or like some type of esteemed scholar to where you got the answers to all the secrets of
Hmm.
the world, you know what I'm saying? And of
Right. Right.
civilization
Right.
and all of that. Like, so, you know, but that one in particular, that event in particular, where those three instances occurred, was like it's very off-putting. You know what I'm saying? It is very
Yeah.
off-putting, especially if you want
Yeah.
to like gather an audience and you want people to listen to what you have to say. You know what
Right.
I'm
Right. Right.
saying?
Right.
Like it's off-putting. It was
And
off-putting for me.
I know for these meetings of the minds, right? So like the Zulu anniversary every year will fall on the basically on the weekend closest to November 12th. So that will be the Zulu Nation anniversary, right? So if it was the 25th Zulu anniversary, it will be the 24th anniversary of hip hop.
Hip hop,
So it
right?
will be a celebration of the anniversary of hip hop, and the Zulu Nation anniversary. And this is way before now people would deem the anniversary of hip hop to be August 12th, 1973, with the Cool Herc side of the story, where,
Right,
but we all know, whatever, we can honor both times, because
right.
there's the Herc side and then there's the Bambaataa side. But during the anniversary, right, which would normally start like on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there'll be different hip hop events, b-boy events, DJ events. Then there was always like a conscious night where there was a night of knowledge called a meeting of the minds. And they would get a panel of black and brown individuals that were, I guess, had a higher level of knowledge, and they would present these ideas and whatnot. And, some of it was really cool, and then some of it was really far-fetched, and but they were also like, a lot of people before they even had big platforms used to be there. Sonetta used to be there,
Mm-hmm.
Red Pill, Blue Pill.
Phil
A lot of these
Valentine.
people, Phil Valentine used to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Tazariak, I think, used to be at these events. The brothers
Mm-hmm.
from the Hebrew Israelite movement will be there. Brothers from the Nation of Islam will be there. Five Percenters will be there.
More
The Moorish
science,
Science Temple of
yeah.
America.
Kemet,
Basically all right, right,
Kemetic people, yeah.
right. Nuwabians used to be at
Nuwapians,
these
yeah.
events before, the Malachi York scandal, when they were really deep. And it was all these different elements coming together
That's another
to,
joint too. Not to
right.
cut your wisdom. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember, what year was that when they had the anniversary in Bushwick? At
It was
the
like 2004 or
No,
something
no,
like
no. It was
that.
after I got out the military, so it might have been '06, maybe. Might have been
Maybe.
oh, might have been '06, maybe '07. I remember they had it in the gym, right?
Right.
And in the recreational center rather.
Yep.
And and I had to use the restroom, and there was no restroom in there. So I asked Bam, I said, Bam, where's the restroom? And he's like, yo, like there's a bookstore, Mount Dr. York's bookstore is next door. He was like, the restroom in there. He was like, now when you
Right.
go in there after he was, I suggest like, check out some of the books in there. He got a lot of stuff in there I think you might be interested in. Now me, I wasn't never interested in a Nuwapian or any type of Dr. York stuff, his literature. I was like, I never, I had read some of it before and I wasn't interested. So I remember going in the bookstore and I remember there were three people in there, right? They were Nuwapian. They were like zombies, zoned out to watching a lecture with him. Now, at this
Well,
time, I think he was already in custody, right? At this
mm,
time, I think he was already in custody, right? So, um, they're like zoned in on the screen, and I'm like, peace. I enter the place. I'm like, yo, peace. Um, Bathroom. I need to use the bathroom. Yo, they didn't even look at me. They just pointed in the direction of the bathroom. The three of them just pointed direction of the bathroom, kept watching. I go use the bathroom. Then I come out and I'm looking at like the wall. They had like this painting on the wall, and it was a painting. It was a man reading a book, right?
mm,
And it looked like Malachi York. Next to him was a black, so-called black man. Next to him was a lighter black man. And then next to him was a lighter black man. Then next to him was an alien, right?
mm,
A green alien. And then next to him was a so-called white man looking over everybody's shoulder. So, like in my mind, I'm like, all right, so the knowledge comes from this man reading the book and the knowledge is being passed down to the so-called original man, and then at the end the white man is the last to receive it. That's how I took it. And
Hmm.
he's not even, he might not even be the last to receive it. He's looking over the shoulders trying to receive it. And it's like they're
Right.
keeping it from him. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And I knew it was Malachi York, the depiction of him reading the book, because it had the hair, it had like all
Hmm.
of the stuff. Like if you ever read his books, like see the stuff with like Yakub and all of that
Yeah,
stuff,
you know,
the big heads and all of that
I used to read
stuff.
some of it because,
And
as you know,
right,
right,
right.
you
And I
know,
don't believe any of it, because Yaqub alayhi salam is Jacob in
hmm
Islam, and he was a prophet. He wasn't no mad scientist that created the grafted individual, which is known as the Caucasian or the Anglo-Saxon or whatever you want to call it. So, like, I don't care. I don't care how y'all feel about it, neither. The truth is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's many Muslims with the name Yaqub because it's the name of a prophet. And in
right,
English, it would be Jacob. You know what I'm
right, right,
saying? So, like, all of that, like, we debunking that. But yeah, I just thought it was weird. Like, the whole experience of me just going to use the bathroom was weird.
right,
You know what I'm saying? And I don't, and from my recollection, Bam didn't even ask me, did I check the books out? You know what I
right.
mean? I think like because it was crowded in there, and I think he might have it might have been his turn to DJ for the
Hmm.
night. You know what I'm saying? So
You know, the year that me and you went to that anniversary in Bushwick for at the headquarters of the Nuwabians, it was very plain. And then um years later, I would say 2014, right? They threw
mhm,
the Zulu anniversary there again. Complete transformation. Now they have statues of all this Egyptian stuff. I mean, the whole thing was done up like it looked like Egypt. I guess it was like kind of like how they had the Eatonton, Georgia looking like, you
right,
know what I'm saying, with all that stuff. I mean, they did an amazing job at the renovations or whatever, and it looked very cultural. It looked dope. The vibe was cool. The anniversary was dope that year too. But it's crazy because at the side of the building that day, they had all these different graffiti artists there, and they painted a mural of Bambaataa on the side of the Malachi York building in Bushwick. So it's
oh
kind of
wow,
crazy the dynamic between their
right,
relationship.
right,
And,
right,
now here we are, 2024, the scandal Dwight York was in, the scandal Bambaataa been in,
right,
um, the link, Bambaataa pushing that message to us as young Zulus
right,
back in the
right,
day,
right, right,
encouraging us to buy the holy tablets, all these
right,
different booklets, you know
right,
what I'm saying? And not too many Zulus was really interested in it. There were a few. And I think a
right.
lot of brothers may have been interested in it from the fact that like Malachi York was challenging all the different
Schools of
organizations.
thoughts, right?
Right, yeah. This is the problem book. I'm gonna, talk about the 5% lessons. I'm gonna talk about the Moorish science lessons. He gonna challenge everybody. And the same thing with masonry. He was saying that,
Right,
he had the 33 the 33rd degree. Like he was the
right.
master mason also.
Yo, he took
So
from
it's right. It was a
all of
crazy
those schools of
mix.
yeah, and he infused it all together. Because if you look at his history, when they started out as the Ansar Allah community, they were Muslims, and we know Ansar means friend. You know what I'm saying? It means like trusted friend. In Arabic it means friend. So like they were like the friend or helper, rather help, I think it mean helper of Allah. And I told you, well, you've known people that was in that organization when they were full-fledged Nawapian, but I know
Hmm.
an elder Muslim brother who was with them when they were in New York, and he's Muslim to this day. But like he told
Hmm.
me that how York had it separate, and when you wanted to get married, he would have to like taste test for you to make sure the woman was good enough for you to have. And that's
Hmm.
how he ended up with so many children. Like the deviancy, man, with these cult leaders, man, it's sick.
It
It's sick. And
is.
for anyone to still follow him and the doctrine, like
Mm-hmm.
you really gotta be like warped. Like
You
those
know,
people I saw in that in the bookstore. Like you gotta be warped.
you know what's strange too? Like, we know, right, from being in hip hop, we know the hip hop artists that were a part of the Zulu Nation. We know it well, right? And mostly the public knows it well. Um, Hip hop culture, we know the five percenters, who were the
Hmm.
five percenters in hip hop, right? And a lot of people don't know that Jaz-O and Jay-Z
Hmm.
were a part of that movement in Brooklyn, and obviously it makes sense because those that don't know New York City, Bushwick in particular, right, where the Nuwabians were headquartered, and I know this because my mother's from Bed-Stuy, and I also lived in Bed-Stuy and Sumner houses for several years throughout my life. When I lived in Brooklyn, I bounced around between Sunset Park and Bed-Stuy. Bed-Stuy is certain areas of Bed-Stuy is like they're all intertwined with like Bushwick, Williamsburg, and Bed-Stuy. All three of those
Hmm.
neighborhoods meet on certain corners by like
Hmm.
Myrtle, Bushwick Ave,
Hmm.
all of that, right? It's like a triangle where all three communities meet. So that movement was very big, even though it was based in Bushwick. That movement was big in Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Right.
Hove was a
Because
part of
Marcy
it.
is right there.
Jazzo,
Right.
right? Marcy
Right.
is right there. Like Marcy's literally just a few
Marcy
minutes
is totally
away.
different now.
Right, totally different, right? But it's still dangerous as well. But
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
so Hove is a part of it, but no one knows that really Hove is a part of it like that. They don't get talked about often because
Right.
you see Hove with the universal flag chain now.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know if he's
Right.
trying to deceive people because I've never heard Hove talk or quote anything about the five percenters ever until recently. All of a sudden, he comes out with the universal flag on his chest.
Right. When
It's
Jay
like, y'all were quiet. Right.
Electronica came around.
Right.
Right.
But then Jay Electronica is not, he's NOI or FOY.
Right. So it
So
doesn't really make, yeah. Yo,
I
dudes
can't
be like,
I can't put my finger or I can't
I think they're
fully
all
understand it.
confused. I think they're all confused, to be honest. Like I remember Jazzo being a part of it, and I like, and saying he was, and I've heard interviews with him saying he was, and
Hmm.
saying Jay-Z. I don't think Jay-Z might have been um in it for too long. Cause,
Hmm.
like I was saying, the brother, not only did the brother say that York had to test your wife, it was kind of like the mafia where you work and you kick back all your money to him, basically, and he
Right.
just give you enough for you to live. You had to buy everything from him. You
Right.
working, you got to give your money, you got to pay your rent because he had those what was that, the Drew Ali houses that he had in
Hmm.
Bushwick? Was it the Drew Ali joints
I'm
that
not
they bought?
sure.
One of
Not
those
sure.
one of those project houses where they were all living in a community. That was
Right,
their
right, right.
community. And you would have to buy, they had their own supermarket, their own library, their own
Uh,
everything. So everything you bought, you giving it to him. You know what
right.
I'm saying? And this dude already had money because he used to
They
write
kicking everything
music.
up to him. They
Right.
kick
They're
it
kicking
right.
everything up to him. They giving their
Right.
women to him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, yo, it's crazy. It's like a Ponzi scheme and a cult. Like,
Oh, flash forward, right? Let's relate this to Zulu. Flash forward, we had the Universal meetings, first and last Wednesday, National Black Theater, Harlem. What's the elders telling us? The best nation is the
it's a
donation,
donation. Yup.
soliciting money from
From kids.
teenage youth
Word.
that man, I done snuck on the train to get in here. I jumped the
Right.
turnstile to get here. And you're
Right.
gonna ask me for a few dollars that I was gonna get a beef patty with? And I'm
Right.
giving it to them. There was sometimes I gave them a couple dollars that and I didn't even eat.
Right.
Or I gave them a couple dollars, didn't even have the right funds to get home back
Right.
to the hood. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Foolish, foolish me, right? And then you look at all of this, right? The big picture now, right? When all of that happened with Malachi York, none of these rap dudes that was representing that ever said nothing again about them. They
Nope.
never referenced them,
Nope.
never talked about the affiliation.
Nope.
2024, 2024, 8 years after the Bambaataa scandal, where's all the Zulus that was jacking Zulu Nation when it was strong, when it was almighty, when we was shaking down artists, when we was doing all the treachery and at the top of the industry and mobbing in the streets, everybody wanted to be Zulu. Now, Bambaataa situation happened. Nobody mentioning Zulu. What happened to Q-Tip's album, The Last Zulu?
Word,
You know what I'm saying? Gone. All
word.
these artists that said that they was down with the family, quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. No input, no output. No, I'm standing with the survivors. I'm
No,
not
nothing.
whatever. I'm not with him. I'm standing on truth. Quiet. Silence.
That's a
Is it
fact.
fear? What is it? You know what I'm saying? What is it?
Oh no,
What is it?
they got an answer for that. I ain't got no answers.
I want to hear something.
Yeah,
Somebody,
I ain't got
somebody,
nothing. I ain't got
you know what
nothing
I'm
for 'em.
saying?
Word.
Somebody got to talk. Somebody got to be bold enough to stand on truth. Somebody got to address the elephant in the room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can't be just the young Zulus, the only ones with enough with enough courage to speak out and
Right.
stand on truth. You know what I'm saying? Like people
Or they
be
say it behind closed doors. They standing on truth behind closed doors, but
right,
won't
nah,
say
that
it
don't count.
publicly.
That don't count.
Yeah.
Speak on it publicly. And if you don't know, whatever, I respect it. You don't know, but a
Right.
lot of y'all know the truth and won't speak on it. You know what I'm
That's a
saying? Shout
fact.
out to Immortal Technique. He
That's a
spoke
fact.
on it. Shout
Right.
out to Lord Jamar. He spoke on it. You
Right.
know, and there's certain people that spoke on things and I didn't like what they say. Oh yeah, everybody knew he was on that type of time. Melly Mel said things like that.
Yeah, Melly Mel, man.
Like
I don't
it's disappointing to hear people talk
know.
like that. Now, don't say everybody knew. It's people that
Cause
didn't
that,
know
yep, yep,
because
yep,
you might have been withholding secrets.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't say everybody know. And another thing I want to address too on the real, there's people that when they address this situation, they say, yeah, we believe like Bam must have got everybody, or, you know, I don't believe he spared anybody. He never did nothing to me.
Me neither.
And that's not to clear his name of any controversy. I'm just speaking for me personally.
Or
Never.
and we done been around them.
You know
You
what
know
I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying? In close
It's not
proximity and
right. You know what I'm
in
saying?
traveling, and I ain't never
Right.
been tried.
Never. Um, he's always honestly he was always A1 with me. You know,
Yeah,
big
yeah,
brother,
yeah.
encouraging. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Same here.
you know what I'm saying? But obviously we know the real. You know what I'm saying? There's another side to him. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
it's disgusting
it's disgusting. We don't support it. We don't respect it. You know, and this
at
isn't
all.
to rile the troops up and talk crazy. It's because certain people be scared to talk about this, yo. On the
That's
real.
right. No, for real.
People be scared. People be in fear to stand on truth. People be trying to suppress the
Right,
information. People are
right.
saying, "Say less, beloved. Don't talk on this.
We'll think it's gonna blow over.
It's dangerous. We're gonna brush it under the rug. Just let the storm ride out. The sun will come out one day." And here we are 8 years after all of this. You know who been dealing with that pain? The survivors, the Zulus that standing true on principle. We the ones dealing with the pain. We're the
More.
ones still striving to elevate the name from basically from the mud because
Right.
no one it's a once respected, beautiful organization. Now it's like, look where it's at now, and dudes is worried about protecting the brand versus protecting the brotherhood and the sisterhood.
And the
I know,
babies.
right? Where's the integrity, y'all? Seriously. And if you don't like this, yo, I'm
Oh well.
sorry.
Oh well.
Maybe you should think about it. Think about how you moving and say, did I choose the right course? Did I choose the right path? Did I go about this wrong? Because this could have all been dealt with differently. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? On the real, it could have been dealt with differently. But I'm not gonna go too deep into this. It's just it's a lot of pain brothers has experienced with this. You know what I mean?
Word.
And certain brothers are still carrying Zulu, carrying that flag with pride, despite the craziness.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
There's people
Uh,
that wake up every day knowing that something was done to them. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
and and like, and we standing with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
100%.
saying? It's
A
like,
hundred percent. It's not a joking matter.
no,
It's nothing funny about this.
no,
Like all the jokes, boy, people joking about Diddy and joking
yeah,
about that. This is not a joke.
no.
That's
That the
not a
thing
joke
with,
either.
yeah,
That's
nah.
not
And
a
I was
joke
just about to
either.
say that. I was just
It's
about to
not a
say that.
joke
That's not
either.
a joke either.
It's
Like
not
all the
humorous.
memes is
It's not
cool
humorous.
and
It's triggering.
yeah, it is. And it's a disservice to the people that actually that weren't willing participants in any of these situations, because there's some that were willing participants in, you know, in these scandals, but there are some that were not willing participants. You know what I'm saying? Some people were drugged, some people were tricked, you know what I'm saying? Some people were taken advantage of, and ain't none of it funny. It's none of it is
No.
funny. None of it is funny at all. It's not a joke. You know what I'm saying? Because if it had it been you or someone you were close to, you wouldn't be laughing and you would be upset at the memes and all of this stuff too. You would be
Mm-hmm.
upset if it was somebody that was dear and near and dear to you that was affected by this directly. You know what I'm saying? So like, none of that stuff is funny. But this is unfortunately, this is the sick society we live in. Death is funny. R-
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, assault is funny. Abuse is funny. All of this stuff is
Mm-hmm.
made like we're like really desensitized as a people. All people,
Mm-hmm.
not just black and brown, not just white, not just
Mm-hmm.
so-called yellow, so-called red. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all desensitized. Like, you know, we walk by things and oh that's funny, dude got punched in his face, dude got shot, dude lost his life, now we're going to start making fun of victims and survivors and children
Mm-hmm.
and saying
Yeah.
they deserved it and they know what
Mm-hmm.
they was getting into. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, and I ain't even want to touch the Diddy thing, but like, yo, man, like before, y'all was just praising this dude. He could do no wrong. Y'all didn't believe nothing. Y'all was calling
Mm-hmm.
these artists that was complaining about him, y'all was calling them bitter and broke. And yo, why would he
Mm-hmm.
do that? He got the
Bums.
bag, he got
Mm-hmm.
money, it's this, it's that. And if he jerked them, they allowed themselves to get jerked and all of that. And now Cat Williams is a prophet. They calling this dude. Did you know that? They thinking he like a prophet. But there's people that's been saying this before we even knew who Cat Williams was. And no disrespect to Cat Williams, he
Mm-hmm.
spoke the truth according to what he thought was true, according to what he experienced and what he saw with his own eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not
And it was bold. It
discrediting
was
him.
bold to speak on
Right,
it too
right. But there's
on
people
that
that's
platform.
been saying it though. But just
Mm-hmm.
because you didn't like their music, just because their album didn't sell, or they couldn't sing, or they couldn't rap, or they was one hit wonders, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They're not telling the truth. They haters, they bitter and broke. Like that's crazy. So money
What's more?
is the
Mm-hmm.
truth. Money and
Mm-hmm.
fame and wealth is the truth over what actually is the truth. That's crazy. And y'all some suckers for that. A lot of y'all fans, whatever, the fans, the artists, everybody who's silent, everybody who's making jokes about it, y'all some suckers. Word. And y'all have no integrity. None of
Yeah.
y'all.
And people be joking. People be joking about Diddy, right? People joke about Diddy, and they be dead quiet about Bambaataa.
That's a fact.
How
That too.
how how funny is that? That you could talk about two dudes that have done wrong, right? And you joking about one because neither one is a joke. It's not a joking matter.
Right.
But you have the nerve to joke about one dude and be straight quiet about another. And we see this from people that's supposed to be Zulu. People
Yeah.
that's like that's crazy to me.
But when you talk to them outside of the social media, they appear to be in solidarity with survivors and they know, yo, it's wrong, it's messed up, but I can't go publicly with it. So
Right,
you make fun of somebody else, you make fun
right,
of somebody else's deviancy, but you're covering up for another. And it's the same
right.
thing.
That shit don't make no sense.
Nah, not at all, man. Like it's weird. We live in a weird society, man. It's
And
really
I'm
bugged
good.
out.
I'm good on people that say, "Well, I don't give a fuck what R. Kelly did. I'm gonna still listen to his music. I don't
Yeah,
care what Diddy did. I don't care what Bambaataa did. We still
yeah.
gonna bump his music." Is the music more important than the babies? Is the music more important than the queens? You know,
Or
is the music more important than principles, morals, standards? Because there's a lot of music. There's a lot of great entertainers. We don't
hmm
gotta be stuck on two or three bad ones that did some crazy
right.
things and continue to give them praises and honor and continue to talk about their accolades. If they're not worthy of the praise, stop singing praises of them. None of these people are worthy of the praise,
No, they're
period.
not. No, they're
These are
not.
just
Like
regular people,
regular people that have a talent.
regular
That's
people
it.
that have a talent. You know what I'm saying? So why are we so caught up? All our people are so caught up in like these people as like their saviors, if they're like they're
hmm
idolizing these people and they're
hmm
in shock. You know what I'm saying? Like
And these
one minute
people
you
don't care
shaming them,
about them neither.
one minute you shaming them, joking, and the next minute you burying him, throwing him under
hmm
the, you know, where you don't never want
hmm
to hear from him again. And then you
hmm
bring him back and love him again and say, I'll still dance to R. Kelly's music. I'll still
Yep.
play it. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? LOL. 100 people liking it.
Yep.
LOL. Yeah, I still
Yep.
bump me some R. Kelly. Yeah, I still listen to Planet Rock. I still dance to it. Yeah, I'ma still listen to all of Diddy's music. Man, I don't care about none of these guys no more. Once
Or
the truth is revealed, I'm good on them.
that's a
Period.
fact. That's a fact.
Because I stand on principle, I stand on morals, and I stand on the right side of things. And I'm not
hmm
perfect, I'm not flawless, I'm flawed. You know what I'm saying? But you got to
Yeah, you got to
stand on the
stand for
right side of
something.
things.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For real.
No.
Yeah, we got to do
Absolutely.
better. We got to do better in public. We got to do
hmm
better, you know what I mean? All around with this.
Because it's hypocritical, you know what I'm saying, for you to be in private about something and then be in public another way, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like I appreciate like our listeners, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously like our following is growing slowly, and I appreciate that more because we're not doing clickbait. We're not like putting ignorance out there. You know what I'm saying? We speaking real stuff. We're bringing real community activists and people that really are like, we just had Wise up here. You know what I'm saying? We have Mike One and Queen. You know what I'm saying? And the future guests, we have Pluto. These are people that's actually contributing to society in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? And sharing and protecting the youth. You know what I'm saying? Really protecting the youth. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And the women. You know what I mean? And we not doing all of this other extra stuff. We're not throwing the N word around. We're not, you know,
Hmm. Right.
we're not instigating anything. Like if something
Which,
comes up, we're gonna speak on it. You know what I'm
right, right,
saying?
right,
And,
right.
and give an
It's not for
honest opinion.
controversy. It's not to be
Nah,
disrespectful. We're striving to address things from a fair, you know, respectful standpoint. Like,
well,
but
and keep it morally sound too.
right, right,
At the
right.
same time, like we're gonna keep it morally sound, man.
Because you know,
Like I said, we
me and the brother Watt, we said like, yo, our children are gonna view these videos one day out of
right,
curiosity, because you know the YouTube will keep it up forever. And
right,
I would hate to disappoint my two daughters who are, you know, the most precious thing. I would hate to disappoint my family and talk
right,
ignorantly or talk foolish or misrepresent the organization that we're a part of. You know, like y'all gotta look at y'all social media and say, like, yo, all this joking on about all these predators and all this pain, like, how does this is this message consistent with my values? Is this who
right,
I am?
right,
Because that's a representation of who you are. I don't go out there and really talk about these things on a public platform, because I don't want to offend nobody. I don't want to trigger nobody. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like we got to be better uh, with how we communicate, better on what we represent, what we show to our families, to our youth. You know what I mean? We just got to be better.
You know what's crazy? Like you mentioned, us being fathers and our children potentially seeing these videos and the rest of our family members. I remember Kim K had did an interview that I saw. Like, I really don't pay them too much attention. But I did see a clip where she mentioned being embarrassed after all these years of her sexual
Hmm.
stuff put on tape, because she said she didn't know that her kids might one day, that she would be a mother one day and would grow up and her kids would grow up to see this. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
then
Right.
right after that, she they said something about Pete Davidson, and then she admitted she just wanted to hit. I'm like, your kids are gonna see that too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, these
Right.
people, man, like, and then these are the people that get the following. You know what I'm saying? And I really, I'm not like, it's
Cult
cool if we
following.
get right. It's cool
Cult
if we get
following.
followers and all of that. And but these are like the stuff that people capitalize off of. And like I was talking to you earlier on the phone, and we was talking about Behold the Pale Horse, and how they talked about television programming, and the
Hmm.
reason it's called a program because it's here to program you. So like them putting all of this stuff on social media, you can't escape a lot of this stuff. Remember the billboards? The billboards made it cool to smoke cigarettes. At the
Right.
time, you used to see Newport.
Camel.
Yeah, Camel,
Camel.
Newport, cool. Remember the
Kent.
Newport twins? Remember the Newport twins?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Remember
Yeah.
the Marlboro
Yeah.
man? The
Yeah.
Marlboro
Yeah. Yeah.
man looked
Yeah.
cool. You know what I'm saying? So now, like with
Yeah.
the television programming, yo, you gotta have this to be cool. Your girl
Right.
gotta look like this to be,
Yeah.
considered desirable. This
Right.
has to,
Right.
you have to have this. Your kids gotta be like this. You gotta
If you
be
don't
like
have a
this.
BBL, your man's not gonna desire you.
Yeah, yeah. Like, word, you gotta cheat. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
gotta be like, yo, so what? Everybody's doing it. Like,
Right.
what's
Right.
wrong with you? Like, yo, I got people that used to be like, look at me like, yo, you don't drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, and
Right.
I'm not knocking anybody that drinks. That's your preference. That's what you want to do. But don't look at me weird because I don't. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like, yo, you don't club. You don't listen to this. Well,
Right. Right.
everybody
Right.
listen to this. You stuck in the 90s. You know how many
I'm
times
not
I hear that?
everybody.
Right.
Right.
I'm an individual. I have my own, like, this is the free world, quote unquote. So we're supposed to be free thinkers. So why I
Right.
gotta think like you? If it is the free world and I'm like America is the free world and we're free thinkers, why I gotta think like you? Why
Right.
I gotta like what you like? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, I'm an individual. It's a funny thing. Like when I was in the military, like when we was in boot camp, especially, like, you supposed to do everything in unison because they're teaching you teamwork and all of that stuff. So if you go off, if you like deviate from what the group is doing, they'll be like, you try and be an individual. And the whole
Right.
time I'm thinking, even though, for the most part, when I was in boot camp, I like try to be a team player and all of that. In my head, I'm like, I am an individual, but I understood the concept because like when you're in the military, somebody could get hurt or possibly die if
Right.
you know what I'm saying. But like in the world though, why I gotta be like you? Or why do you have to be like me? Why do I gotta listen
Hmm.
to Sexy Red? I'm just using her because everybody like, they like her. Or why do I gotta
Right.
listen to Ice Spice? Why I can't listen to Rhapsody? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Why I gotta live?
Hmm.
Why I can't listen to Jean Grey? I don't even know if Jean Grey still make music, but like, why I
Right. Right.
can't
Right.
listen to Jean Grey? Why I can't
Right.
listen to Rod Digger or Najeri Earth? Why? Because it's not on the radio and it doesn't have this. I don't twerk. You know what I'm saying? I don't gyrate. You know what I mean? Like I think all of that stuff is for deviance, and I'm not here to disrespect nobody, but that's deviant behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like all that gyration and all of that. Like that's like provocative.
Right.
I'm not doing that. That don't even
Right.
attract me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Whether I'm a married man, but even if I wasn't married, like that stuff don't attract me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, yo,
Well,
we live in a wild. a wild
It's
society, man. It's crazy, and
different times, different times.
we need to get it together though.
Yeah, that's a fact. You know, you know, I love these conversations, and this is what you could normally get from us. We
Word.
we be talking about this on a daily
Yeah,
basis
and none
amongst
of this stuff is
ourselves.
planned, man. Like we just be
Yeah,
shooting off the like ain't
shooting
nothing
off the
written
hip.
down unless we
Right,
got like something we want to talk about and there's history behind
right.
it.
A
We'll do
guest
some
or
research.
interview.
Right. We'll do some
Yeah,
research, but like this stuff, man, this is just like observation. Like, you know what I'm saying?
right,
This is like a
right.
genuine conversation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Stuff like you said, stuff that we talk about all the time, man. Like, like I really like pity society, man. I really do. Really,
Yeah, it's
I don't care how much money people make and like and all of this stuff. That don't make you happy. That don't give you
uh,
no principle. That doesn't buy you anything but materialism, materialistic stuff. It might make you look nice, might make
hmm
you smell nice, but the inside though, the heart
right,
and here, all of this is connected. The heart and the brain, that's connected. You know what I'm saying? So,
definitely.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
I appreciate you. It's like almost 1 in the morning right
word,
now. Brothers
word,
gotta work
word.
tomorrow,
That's a fact.
so you know, time to hit the,
Word.
get
We're
some
gonna
rest or
get back
whatever.
to it
But
too, inshallah. We're gonna get
yeah,
back
make
to it.
inshallah. You make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe, man. Drop us some comments. The website is up, spearsandmics.com. It'll always have like the latest episode, the YouTube link. It'll have the link for the iTunes, because this is available on all audio, podcast streaming, all the platforms. This is up there. So, if you're not watching it on YouTube, if you don't got the time to check the visual out, make sure you listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, all of that.
Or
Just
Amazon.
striving to give y'all some positive messages, man. Some jewelry, and let's continue striving to be great.
Word. And it's
Peace.
always love over here. Remember that.
Yeah, always, definitely,
Word.
definitely.
Peace.
We're coming from a place of love. You know what I'm saying? We're just passionate about what we're a part of and what we do, and we're pushing people towards standing on greatness.
Word.
So respect and love to everybody, man. Peace.
Word. Peace.